Welcome back to the Python series. In this video, we are going to discuss about function. Generally, a function is a block of code which executes when we call it. So generally, function has three main steps. First step is to determine to define the function, and then the second step is the block of code, and then the third step is to return something or to return nothing. So some functions can take some inputs which are called parameters for the working of it, and some don't take any parameters. That is totally depend upon the user who has defined such a particular function. So a function can return any value or it can't return any value. Taking some parameters and returning something or not is truly depend upon the function that is defined by the user. So let's see how to define a function. So to define a function, we need to use the keyword def and then the name of the function. So let's take you, and then here let's take one of the parameter. Let's say parameter as a. Here a is a variable. So here let's write a function to give the result such as the given number is positive, even or odd. So let's write the code. As you know that if number modulus 2 equal to 0, then we can say that it is even. So even, and else it is odd. So we have to print odd. So let's run this. So here initially, after defining a function, we have to call the function to execute it. So let's see. Let's run it directly. Oh, sorry. Here you can see we got nothing because we haven't called the function. We have just created the function but haven't called the function. So let's call the function. If of parameter, let's give a number 56. So let's run this. Here we can see we got it as even number. So let's change it as 55. Let's run this. It is odd number. So this way we can just create a function by using def and then the function name. Here if is the function name, and these closed parentheses are used to identify that if is a name of the function by the interpreter, and the parameters should be placed inside this parenthesis. So here this function takes the input or parameter for its working. So if you not give that input or parameter, it will raise an error. Here we can see missing one required positional argument a. So let's modify this into a form so that the function don't take any input but processes the data and then gives whether the number is even or odd. Let's take a variable a equals to int of input of enter the num. That's number. So let's run this. Here it is asking for the number. Let's give 66, enter. So like this. Here this function doesn't take any input or any arguments or parameters, and it will not return anything, same as in the previous case. So now let's modify this into a way that it returns something. So let's clear all this. A equals to input. Okay, we have to just return a mod 2. so that after returning that, so here the function returns something, so that the returned value should be stored in a variable. Let's say variable is v equals to if. So, and we can write the condition here. If v equals to 0, print even. Else print odd. So let's run this. Here we can see it is asking for the number. Let's give 55, enter. Here we can see we got the correct output. So in this function, it will not take any inputs, but it will return some output. So here return is a keyword that will return the value of a mod 2. Let's make a small change so that it takes the input and then returns the output. Just undo this. Let's keep a here. So let's run this. So here no need of here we forgot to give the parameter. It's 55. So let's run this. Here we can see it is odd. 56. Let's run. Here you can see we got even. So let's make a small change so that it will not take any input and then it will not return anything. So let's delete this. So let's run this. It is asking for the number. Let's give 55. We got this output. So run again and then give 56. We got. So here is about function, and now we can we use the function before defining it? So is it possible? So let's see this. So let's run this. We can see we got an error. So that in Python we cannot use a function before defining it. So can we use the same function in another file, another Python file? So can we use it? So let's test it. Let's comment all this. So as we know, it is in another place. So first we have to import it from function test.py import if. So now let's check this. If of 55. Let's run this. Oh, here it will not take anything. So stop this. Let's run this. Here we can see it is asking for the number. What happened to this? Why is it asking for 2 times? So let's check this. Here we have if. Let's delete it. So now let's run this. Let's give number 55. We got the output. Let's run again. Give the number 56. We got the final output. Here are some of the points to be remembered about function. A function will execute when we call it, and to define a function we need to use the keyword def and then the function name and parameters inside the brackets and the code. So a function can take the input or it cannot take the input and can return something or can't return anything based on the function written by the user. And we can also import a function from one file to another file